I'm filming this 1 week before the Nationals. This is my Scale-1 car. Now if you haven't seen it, last year's ECCF, the East Coast Crawl Fest, which is basically Australia's Nationals, at least for the Eastern Seaboard, but it's the big one for the year. Last year's Nationals saw me take second place with this thing. It's an SCX10 III JLU, and I've done the review for that thing. Great car. But it had the bigger tyres and it didn't have enough scale points. But I thought in that great debate for anyone who does comps, Lexan or hard body, I did the testing, I've got videos on that too. I'll put everything in the description because it's been a journey. And I decided on this. Now it comes with the portals, it's very capable underneath, and I liked the body. I cut the body back and I ended up with 12 scale points. Now scale points matter because every single course you do, your scale points get taken off your drive score. So with minus 12 and 5 courses, I had minus 12 times 5 coming off my total. Now Tristan, who picked me at the post by 6 points. G'day Tristan, he did such a great job with that car. He really showed me the value of having points. His car had 19 scale points. And so when he beat me by just 6 points, I thought, gee whiz, I need to make this car worth a little bit more. So that's what I've done. This is what I've made. It's 3D printed. I designed it. First I had to get the shape right, and I wanted the spare wheel here. And then I started getting a little bit closer to how I wanted it, and I got the back done, and I wanted the lights and the handle and the little number plate to fit. I've gone with TPU for the fenders, the flares rather, and then I've gone PETG for the rest of it. And then I thought, you know what? PLA Plus has a beautiful kind of somewhat flexible feel to it, so I went with PLA Plus for the bed. The whole thing is made of something like 76, I think it's 76 or 96 grams of filament. It's not a lot, but it's a little. And I've moved everything down a little bit, so you can see the roof rack, the top, the roll cage rather, bends a little bit. I've actually left that intentionally just to keep the space here. In a future design though, at least for next year, what I'm thinking is, because we've still got all this room, because we've got little tiny wheels in here, I'm thinking, hey, we can maybe move the entire body down by 1 centimeter. That would get my center of gravity lower. Now underneath it, we've got the winch, which is actually attached to the body, so it connects there. I've made a little bracket for the dig servo, because you can't have dig in Scale 1. This bracket's available. I'm making all of this available to you to download. The parts aren't perfect. There was a little bit of cutting required, but it's pretty close. And I've also locked the servo by maximizing its throw and bolting it back up in first gear. I fitted a Fusion 1800, and we've fitted a jxServo 7.4 volt brushless something. It's just a good basic servo. I'll link everything in the description actually, and I've put a, what else did we do? We've got the sound kit in the back to give me points as well. And so that's what it looks like on the inside. Underneath, just so you know, the front door's open, the hood opens as well. I've kept it pretty tidy underneath. Just got the one wire that comes down for the lights. Let's have a look and see what it's like on the 6 problems. I've just finished the car. I haven't actually tested it yet. I've just done a little bit of driving. Now I've said in the past on this channel that none of the Class 1, of the Scale 1 cars can do the 6 problems. I suspect this thing's going to be able to at least do problem 1 and 5. Let's see how far we get. So, first drive, problem 1 with my Scale 1 vehicle. We've got single speed now, no dig, but with the 1800 kV brushless system, you really don't need 2-speed, especially not in this. The SCX10 III 2-speed is notoriously a close ratio gearbox, so even with the stock brush system, it didn't do a heck of a lot. It did a little, but it was very close. Now, we're still good, just. Oh yeah, that's not bad. You can't have overdrive in Scale 1, but another reason I chose this car is the insane steering angle. And look, the center of gravity is not terrible, even with a semi-hard body now. That's problem 1, done. Not bad, eh? Straight into problem 2. The angle is not great. Now, these are the biggest diameter tires you can run on Scale 1. And that will be a problem on these problems, or obstacles, as some people very keenly point out to me. I call them problems. But there wasn't much problem here, was it? Oh, hang on. Yep, there we go. Walk it over. Oh, unless we can come around, that doesn't really count. I'll give him another go. So your turning circle is actually quite important, getting a small radius, and that's where the Yikong that we looked at recently, with those rear disc brakes, the oh, it had a name, I can't remember it. Something steer. It worked really well. And I wonder, because they're actually legal in the comp currently, they haven't been written out yet. You could actually do a rig that has that. I had to work pretty hard on the design of this thing to get the Lexan body to mate nicely with the more rigid rear, and the the roll cage was really helpful with that. But even just that roof rack on its own, she's a pretty weighty thing, and the rules stipulate it has to be metal, and it has to be at least 1/3 of the length of the wheelbase, which I've achieved, plus, I don't know, 8 or 9 mil. I've really tried to be pragmatic in my choices here. Ah, it's so close, it wants to grab. No scale 1 should be expected to do problem 2. It's quite a tough one. One last go. I reckon it can do this, we've got to get the line right. Now if you want to try this yourself, all the files are now available on RC-TNT.com. There they go. There's problem 2. There's a little cutting and mucking around involved, but you can do it. I believe in you. Straight into problem 3. Now when I release 3D files for you guys, I work to make them as straightforward as possible to make it so that you don't have to do much work. This one's going to be a bit more involved. The page shows an exploded view, and I've showed it on this video as well, of what all the pieces look like. You can choose your material. I'd suggest maybe PLA is not appropriate. PLA plus, absolutely. PETG, yes. I think PLA plus is probably the choice. I know it varies between brands, but let's see here. This probably isn't doable, this problem. Oh no, there we go, there we go. Hell yeah. Let's give that another go. I reckon it might be doable. Did not think we'd get 2, and definitely I didn't think we'd get 3. Come on. There we go, there we go, there we go. Oh no, the angle's not as good as last time. Come back just the tiniest little bit. What I want is a little bit of expo on that reverse. It's a little bit sensitive. There we go. We're going to have it now. Watch this. You ready? Ha 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 ha. Using a GT5 here. This is expo. Exponential. It's a curve. Throttle. Now, reverse. I had to reverse it to do this. We're going to increase it to maybe 20. I'm just going to see what that's like. That's better. So now you've got to move more to get a reaction out of it, and then it's like a curve. So as you go further on the throw, it goes faster in reverse. That's what I want. Okay, this is problem 4, and I really don't think it's going to do problem 4, although it surprised me so far. This is unrealistically capable, this car, honestly. It shouldn't be this good. We're stuck. Got to be careful with brute force when you've got brushless, you break stuff. The running gear in this system, and in fact many systems these days, is very, very strong. But I'd still really prefer to not break things if I can help it. Now having small wheels, even with portals here, you just don't have the reach to get across peaky stuff, which is what problem 4 is designed to catch cars out on. So you're left to do risky things, like jumping it forward. Pretty much how I finished 3 actually. There, like that. And it went a bit further than I wanted, but we got up, although we're going to fall if we're not careful. No. Holy moly. I mean, that's a thumbnail. I've got to stop for a thumbnail. Look at that. Now that's not clickbait because it actually did it. Holy moly. 4 out of 4. If you watch this channel regularly, your mouth is probably hanging open because mine is. Wow. Right, into problem 5. Most things get hung up on this, and with these smaller wheels, despite portals, it probably will. Yeah, there you go. That's okay though, because it's not really problem 5 proper. And as long as you exit roughly in the right area, you're good. Now, approach angle really matters. Steering can help to shift the car back and forth. And now we're just going to change camera angles. Okay, this is really the main part of problem 5. This should be a reasonably easy problem for this car. But you got to get it started correctly, otherwise it's painful. Now there's an argument to be made for having less flex in a car, and I'm usually on that side of the fence, but the largely default suspension in the SCX10 III JLU has been really, really good. Do note, however, I'm using a bit of a, well, it's not a cheat, but it's something that comp people will possibly look down on. All I can say is it's worked well for me. I'm using brass wheels, which I would never otherwise use. It was just an experiment. 240 grams per corner. But gee, it makes a world of difference, because your center of gravity is usually worse on a scale 1, because all the weight's up top, but it works well, doesn't it? Okay, now our chances of getting problem 6 out are, as they say in Australia, close to Buckley's. I don't think we're going to get there. Largely because that rock at the top here, the breakover required, just won't be there on this car. If you're new to crawling, when I say breakover, I mean the angle. Well, the amount of clearance you have with the skid, basically. It's the angle from the front tyres to the skid and from the back tyres to the skid. Cars with better breakover can do greater angles when they clear over the top of stuff. And problem 6 is all about breakover, even from these nasty holes and rocks that it's just traversed now. And like the back left wheel is stuck in a hole, and then there's like an overhang for it to get up over. Most cars struggle with this, not all, but most. But coming from over here can be useful. Now I'm still using the stock plastic shafts, stock gears. I think that back left tyre was getting all sorts of messed up then. That's the problem with brushless and all the extra mass. It's if you're not paying attention, you'll break stuff. Although I haven't broken stuff yet. It's not looking great. What I'd like to do is just get the front, or the rear, actually, the rear up on this rock here, like a step, and then we can work our way across. Not like that though. Because there's plenty of mass up front, and if she starts to go, any control I had will be done. I really have to be careful with this car. Oh, there we go, there we go. Now we find out, can it do problem 6? I don't think so. Bumper's a little stuck. That's where having a good servo helps, because see, I can kind of walk it and it kind of just grabs its way up. Now we need to fall to the left enough to get some angle so that the tires can grip a bit, and then I'm going to want to come back to the right. Yeah, strong servo really matters. So if you're thinking of comps, money spent on a servo is money well spent. Yeah, it's not looking... Oh, problem is the left is now off the edge of the rock and the right is in the air. Let's see what we can do here without falling off. No, it fell. It's over, I'd say. Look, 5 out of 6 ain't bad. Let's just give it one last little go. We all want to see it do it, don't we? I know this is something of a one-of-a-kind car, but with the parts I've released for you to download, you can create something pretty close to it if you want. Yeah, look, let's just put it in the perfect spot and see what happens. Let's just see. If it was... I think that's pretty much what we wanted. Let's just see if we had it parked exactly right, what happens. I don't think it can clear. No, it's where we were before. It got close though, didn't it? Well, despite being quite a heavy machine, that thing really surprised me, honestly. Everything stayed together well. These bendy TPU things did their job, which is really good. Thinking I might need to put some silicone just in here. I've just used craft foam here just to get full coverage, you know, so that the tires are completely covered from the top down. But 5 out of 6 problems, I mean, that's better than many crawlers with bigger tires out of the box. I put a lot of stock in these heavy wheels, and I usually wouldn't recommend them, but they work pretty well here. Nothing fell off, nothing came open. I've increased the amount of 3M grabby stuff here I'm using. There's another board here, so the build goes all the way forward, and it even bolts into this bottom screw here. Yeah, so that's not coming open. Last comp, if you saw the ECF video, it was driving around with the door open and later with the hood open. I haven't bolted this down yet, but I possibly should. But there you go. So Scale 1 is ready to go. My Mini, I can't wait to put that thing. Now, if you've seen my channel a bunch or my website, I've got my own chassis for the UTB 18. Someone on the channel recently said, hey Craig, it's not quite long enough to be up to spec for comp, so I had to scramble and make a little extra length for it. I'm in the middle of designing a new chassis for that thing too, so that's going to be an interesting one. We've got the Vanquish VRD Carbon finished, tested, and it's coming up north with me because I needed a solution that just worked. I'm still working on Jakey's Pink Bits crawler parts, Leviathan and Pinnacle, and I'm still trying to get them to work properly, so they're not coming with me, sorry Jakey, they're not coming with me to this comp, but there's a bunch of stuff. I'm so busy, but stuff's happening. Let me just say, this has always been my favorite class, this and Mini, and these are the two most custom vehicles I'm running this year. I can at least say I'm happy and ready for Nationals for this and Mini, at least. I can't wait. Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for sharing this beautiful autumn sunshine with me down here, Southern Hemisphere, so we're coming into winter now. And I think this might be the last video you see before I go north. I've got a few more things to do though, and do you know, I've had the Red Cat Descent Fusion in a million parts. I've got so much going on. There's a bunch of cool stuff coming. Can't wait to show you. Throw me a like, thanks for this one, and I'll catch you again soon on RC-TNT. Have a great day.